We trap ourselves in loops to survive a past we couldn't control. But the safety we build out of repetition is just a quiet prison. At 22, I'm learning that knowing the root of my panic doesn't make the compulsion disappear. It just gives the ghost a name. You know that feeling, right? That quiet, heavy itch at the back of your skull that whispers, if you don't do it again, everything falls apart. I am 22 now, and for as long as I remember, my mind has been a broken record player. The needle gets stuck in the groove. The same 3 seconds of music play over and over and over again. I check the log. I touch the surface. I replay the thought just for a second of peace. Just for that tiny, fleeting exhale where the panic stops throbbing. But it never really stops, does it? The relief lasts for a minute, maybe less, and then the itch comes back. If you have been here for the past year, if you watched the video where I broke down my childhood and showed you the messy, unedited parts of my life, you already know the soil this grew out of. You know the things I had to survive. But today, we need to talk about the weeds that grew from that soil. We need to talk about OCD, not the clean, organized version people joke about online. The real one, exhausting, invisible loop. I'm sitting here in the dark with you today because I'm tired of carrying it alone. And I know you might be tired too. Here's the strangest part about living with this. I know why I do it. I've done the work. I've looked back at the chaos of my early years and the moments where I had zero control, where the world felt like it was fracturing right in front of my eyes. When you are a kid and your world feels unsafe, your brain scrambles for a shield. Mine decided that if I could control the small things, the exact way I moved, the number of times I checked the door, the repetitive rituals, maybe the big, terrifying things wouldn't hurt me. It's a survival mechanism that forgot the war was over. So now, at 22, I carry this phantom architecture. I do these repetitive things just for a temporary relief. I am fully aware that checking the stove 5 times won't fix the deep seated anxiety in my chest. I know the root cause. My intellect understands it completely. But my nervous system is still in teenage time, hiding in corner, trying to keep the sky from falling. That is the frustrating wall you hit. Knowing why you are broken doesn't magically sweep up the glass. It just means you can see every sharp edges while you're bleeding. I need to be completely honest with you about something. My experience with this, it isn't at the extreme end of the spectrum. I live with it. It drains me. It saves my days. But I can still breathe through it. I know there are people watching this right now who are experiencing the absolute extremes of this condition. People who spend hours locked in rituals, whose minds are screaming at them from the moment they wake up to the moment they finally drop from exhaustion. If that is you, if you're drowning in the deep end of this right now, please hear me. You do not have to white knuckle this by yourself. You do not need to prove how much pain you can take. I visit a doctor frequently. I actively get professional help because I know my own hands aren't strong enough to untangle this wiring alone. There is no medal for suffering in silence. If you are hurting, please reach out to a professional. Get a doctor in your corner. It isn't a sign of defeat. It's the first real choice you get to make for your own freedom. So, where does that leave us? Two flawed humans sitting on opposite sides of a screen, trying to figure out how to live inside our own heads. The intention isn't to fix ourselves overnight. The goal is to learn how to sit with the itch without scratching it, to look at the compulsion, that urgent, terrifying command to repeat the behavior and say, I hear you. I know you think you are protecting me, but I'm safe right now, and I'm going to let the discomfort sit here. It feels like dying a little bit at first, leaving the door unchecked, leaving the thought unanalyzed. The anxiety spikes through the roof, but if you wait, if you just sit there in the dark and let the wave hit you, it eventually rolls back out to sea. We survived the environments that made us this way. We survived the digital noise that tells us we need to be perfect. Now, we have to survive the healing process. It's slow, it's deeply unglamorous, but we are doing it together. Thank you for being here for a year. Thank you for letting me be imperfect with you. Keep breathing. You are still here, and that is enough.